Are you waiting for things to change for the better on their own? It's wiser to work on yourself first before trying to change the outside world. Focusing on yourself can lead to amazing changes in your life. By working on yourself, you can bring incredible changes into your life. This video features wise lessons and quotes that will inspire and help you reach the goals you never thought possible. These words are meant to comfort you and remind you that tough times are short-lived and that your inner strength is ready to be awakened. Allow these powerful messages to enter your heart and mind to nourish your spirit. Together, we can turn darkness into light and find the strength to keep going. The first lesson is about ataraxia. Let's discover the calm and peaceful state of ataraxia, where you remain steady despite life's ups and downs. Imagine sailing through stormy seas. The waves are enormous, the wind is howling, and the sky is dark and frightening. But you remain unmoved. Your eyes fix on the horizon, and you appear calmer than the storm itself. This scene perfectly captures what it means to live in ataraxia, a Stoic concept that I urge you to explore and incorporate into your daily life. Let's first discuss the importance of staying calm in all situations. We face storms, work issues, personal disputes, and sudden illnesses, much like the sea. These are the waves that attempt to unsettle us. You can't avoid these problems. To stay calm, you must confront them with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. Remember, Marcus Aurelius said, "Perfect tranquility consists in the good ordering of the mind in your own kingdom." Every challenge is an opportunity to improve your ability to remain calm and focused. What steps can we take to handle problems calmly and clearly? Preparation and having a broad perspective are crucial. For me, I meditate and reflect every morning as part of my routine. I visualize myself calmly tackling the day's challenges. By doing this, I build mental resilience that prevents impulsive reactions and helps me stay composed when faced with difficulties. Today, let's discuss techniques for achieving inner peace. Mindfulness practice is one that I find particularly beneficial. When you stay focused on the present, you can avoid dwelling on future worries or past regrets. Positive self-talk is another great tool. When I face difficulties, I tell myself, "This will pass, and I can handle it." Changing how you talk to yourself is vital for maintaining calm. Think about how being calm or achieving ataraxia impacts your decision-making. When you're calm, your mind is clear and can function at its best, free from strong emotions. Being in a calm state helps you make decisions that are thoughtful and aligned with your values and long-term goals. Have you noticed how stress leads to reactive decisions? This is where ataraxia helps. Here are some exercises to enhance your ataraxia in everyday life. One of my favorite exercises is imagining the worst scenarios and planning how to handle them. This prepares me for surprises and makes me appreciate my current situation more. I also recommend keeping a gratitude journal where I write down 3 things I'm grateful for each night. This simple practice lifts your mood and brings peace of mind. Incorporate these practices into your daily life to move closer to peace and inner strength. Remember, ataraxia is not a destination, but a continuous journey. Epictetus said, "Be happy. Do not wish for things to happen as you want, but wish for them to happen as they do." Learning this is the essence of ataraxia. 2. It's essential to keep your willpower in check. Think about facing a problem that feels impossible to solve. You have limited resources and time. Every action seems to bring you back to the start. This is the real challenge, testing not just your abilities, but also your willpower. In my experience, having strong willpower is key to achieving success and turning tough times into opportunities. Developing Stoic resilience, the ability to recover from setbacks, involves deliberately strengthening your will. As Cicero said, the difficulty of a task isn't measured by the effort it takes, but by the will applied. I recall a time at work when everything seemed like it would fail. I felt like giving up because my project was stalled. But I chose to strengthen my will, viewing each problem as a chance to grow and keep moving. Building willpower, like strengthening a muscle, requires persistence, effort, and effective techniques. The method I used involves breaking down big tasks into smaller, manageable steps. This reduces stress and gives you small victories that boost your motivation. When I needed to write a lengthy report, I would first plan and organize each section before writing. Completing each section was a step towards finishing the report. Procrastination can severely affect your willpower. To overcome it, you need more than just wishful thinking. You need strict self-discipline. Following a rigorous timetable, adhering to specific time slots allocated for each task, proved immensely beneficial. I learned to value my own time and others' time as well, which significantly boosted my productivity. Think about historical figures like Marcus Aurelius. His stoicism kept him strong during battles and helped him rule the Roman Empire. In his personal journal, Meditations, he writes about how willpower is linked to self-reflection and working for the greater good. Every day, Aurelius had to make choices affecting not only his own life, but also the lives of many others. He did this with a strong will shaped by Stoic ideas. So, consider these stories and strategies as tools for yourself, not just as advice. Face your internal and external struggles with a strong, trained will, ready for anything. Just like I did, you will learn that real power comes from mastering yourself and turning every challenge into an opportunity to do better. 3. Accepting and resilience are crucial. Picture yourself in the middle of a storm. Dark clouds are gathering, and the wind is fierce, making everything you've built seem like it might collapse. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "True strength lies not in fighting the wind, but in knowing where to set the sails." This advice is vital when times are tough. How can we use this wisdom to develop acceptance and resilience in our lives? Acknowledging that some things are out of our control doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting them as they are. A few years ago, I lost a job I loved due to budget cuts. Initially, I felt despair, but soon I realized I couldn't change the company's finances, but I could control my response. Transforming pain into a growth opportunity is what resilience is about. You can apply this when bad things happen. When you're struggling, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of focusing on the problem, seek solutions or different options. Being adaptable and open-minded is crucial for handling tough situations. In response to losing my job, I chose to develop skills in areas I was always interested in, but never had time for. This not only made me more employable, but also gave me a new sense of purpose. It can be really tough to find strength when things are uncertain. Meditation and deep thinking are very helpful. Each morning, meditation helps me focus on what I'm thankful for and my strengths. This practice has kept me calm and positive, even when I don't know what's coming. Learning to accept and be resilient is a process that takes time. Keeping a journal has been very helpful for me. Every night I jot down the challenges I faced and how I handled them. This not only helps me see my progress, but also highlights areas for improvement. As you work on becoming more accepting and strong, You'll experience many highs and lows. However, with Stoic wisdom and a desire to grow, we can face any challenge with grace and strength. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words, "Our life is what our thoughts make of it. Use your mind wisely, and you can overcome anything." 4. Live in the moment. Visualize yourself strolling through a park. You glance up at the blue sky, dotted with fluffy white clouds, and admire the green trees. You breathe deeply, feeling the clean air fill your lungs. This everyday moment is what it means to live in the present and fully experience life as it happens. When you wake up each morning, think about the gift of being alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, and to love, as the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius advised. This idea aligns perfectly with mindfulness, which is all about being fully present without letting your mind drift to future worries or past regrets. It feels liberating to be free from these thoughts, but how can we achieve this state? First, we need to acknowledge that our minds often wander into the past or future, creating scenarios that rarely happen or replaying events we can't change. This not only makes us feel bad, but also prevents us from enjoying the present. Mindfulness is a great help in this situation. Being present means intentionally changing how we see things. It's like working out a muscle that hasn't been used in a while. For example, as I write these words, I focus on how the keys feel under my fingers and the gentle rhythm of my breath. I let myself get completely absorbed in writing these words. Mindfulness has the potential to be integrated into every facet of life. When you eat, do you savor each bite, or are you distracted by the TV? When talking to someone, are you fully engaged or planning your response? Simple practices can help us stay present. One exercise is mindful observation. Pick an object nearby, like a plant, book, or your hand. Spend a minute noticing its color, texture, and how light falls on it. This simple focus can clear your mind and bring you into the present moment. Another method is breathing meditation. Close your eyes and focus on your breath only. Feel the air entering and leaving your lungs. If your thoughts drift, gently guide them back to your breath. This practice makes it easier to stay present and also calms the mind. Being mindful helps us enjoy life fully by freeing us from regrets and worries about the past or future. I encourage you to practice mindfulness, not as another task, but as a way to see life with more wonder and gratitude. Being present is a choice you make every day that requires daily practice and commitment. Are you ready to begin? Mindfulness awaits you right now, in this moment. 5. Using virtue as your compass. Many of us seek a guide to help us make decisions and move forward in our lives to achieve meaningful goals. Have you ever wanted a clear path in your life to ensure each step you take makes you a better person? Based on Stoic teachings, I'd like to share a thought about a path illuminated by virtue. Picture yourself in a thick forest, unsure of which direction to take. This can be very stressful. That's where virtue helps. It doesn't show you the easiest path, but the right one. Living by our values isn't always easy, especially when daily stresses tempt us to abandon our ideals. But remember what Seneca said, "One does not enjoy a full life without challenges." Now, let's explore the Stoic virtues: temperance, wisdom, courage, and justice. Each of these is not just a character trait, but a way to handle life's problems. Wisdom lights the way and finds solutions where others see problems. It's the use of knowledge to find words that calm and build up, rather than hurt in the middle of a heated argument. Courage is the strength to remain firm when things go wrong or you're scared. It's not fear itself that makes you strong, but choosing to act despite it. Imagine having to do something that always scared you, like public speaking. Courage gets you on stage to share your thoughts and make an impact. Justice asks you to put others' needs before your own. In a world that often rewards selfishness, acting justly means choosing fairness and prioritizing others. Recall times when you helped a co-worker because it was simply the right thing to do, not because you expected something in return. In today's world, where instant gratification is common, learning to control our desires and emotions, or temperance, can be difficult. But have you ever felt a sense of satisfaction from resisting a short-term pleasure because it would lead to a better outcome in the long run? That's what temperance means to me. Practicing these virtues makes our lives more moral and respectful, and more meaningful and fulfilling. Making virtuous decisions strengthens us and makes us happier. Just as Marcus Aurelius aimed to rule with fairness and wisdom, and Nelson Mandela demonstrated unwavering courage and dedication to justice, their stories encourage us to follow their example. When faced with a choice, ask yourself what the wisest, bravest, fairest, and most moderate person would do. Following the path of virtue may be challenging, but it leads to true meaning and personal fulfillment. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words: "The best way to get back at someone is not to be like them." 6. Discovering yourself. Let me share a story about how someone learning Stoic philosophy got to know himself better. It all begins with an important realization. Understanding yourself is the key to all growth and wisdom. Epictetus, an ancient Stoic philosopher, once said, "Know yourself, and don't worry about what others think." I remember reading those words during a time when I felt lost and unsure, seeking answers in the wrong places. That phrase stuck with me, making me reflect deeply on who I was and what I wanted in life. Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes self-awareness, helped me create a solid foundation to stay strong and balanced during tough times. I realized the first step was to recognize my own strengths and weaknesses. Have you ever been completely honest with yourself about what you're not good at? This self-reflection is crucial for anyone following Stoic teachings. With time, I found methods to learn more about myself. One method was daily meditation, which allowed me to think deeply every day. Another helpful practice was keeping a journal where I document my thoughts, events, and feelings. You can try these methods too. You might be surprised at what you discover about yourself and your actions. 7. Have control over your emotions. Imagine you're in a really tough spot where everything seems to be going wrong. Your heart is racing and you feel stress all over your body. This is a perfect moment to practice one of the key Stoic principles, controlling your emotions. I'll share how I learned to stay calm during difficult times. A few years back, I faced a major personal crisis. My emotions felt like waves crashing against rocks. Then, I remembered a quote from Marcus Aurelius. "You possess control over your mind, not external circumstances. Acknowledge this truth and you'll discover inner strength." This short yet profound remark served as my compass through those trying times. I adopted a Stoic technique called premeditatio malorum, which implies preparing to recognize negative things coming before they do, that I had read about in Stoic writings. Each morning I'd spend some time imagining potential problems and planning how to handle them calmly. This mental preparation made it easier to control my feelings when bad things actually happened. I also learned about emotional distancing, or what Stoics call objectification. Instead of saying, "I am angry," I started to say, "There is anger." This small change in thinking reminded me that emotions are temporary and don't define me. I learned just to watch my emotions like clouds in the sky, which helped me avoid being overwhelmed by them. When emotions run high, it's easy to forget our values and ideals and act in ways we regret later. Stoic wisdom is very helpful here. Stoics believe our real power comes from choosing how we react to situations. We can't control what happens, but we can control our responses. Another simple way Stoics stay calm is by focusing on the present moment. When I find myself in a heated argument, I stop and focus on my breathing, noticing each inhale and exhale. This helps me relax and feel more grounded, allowing me to respond logically rather than emotionally. These techniques are useful not just in emergencies, but also in everyday life to find peace and inner strength. They not only improve your well-being, but also help you bring calmness to others. Seneca once said, "The greatest part of progress is the desire to progress." Incorporate these Stoic practices into your daily life and see how they enhance your ability to control your emotions and make wise decisions during challenging times. 8. Embracing gratitude. Think about starting each day feeling thankful, truly appreciating life, the act of breathing, and the opportunities each day brings. It's more than just saying thanks for your possessions. I'm talking to you because I want you to see gratitude as an exciting journey that leads to happiness. During a confusing time in my life, I learned to be grateful. Every day felt the same, filled with negativity and anger. Then I came across a quote from Epictetus: "Only when we appreciate what we have can we truly be free." This quote completely changed my outlook. I began practicing gratitude daily. Before getting out of bed in the morning, I would think of 3 things I was thankful for. Initially, it was simple things like being healthy, having a roof over my head, and having food to eat. As time went on, I started to notice smaller things I hadn't appreciated before. The kindness of strangers, the beauty of trees on my way to work, and the calm of a quiet night. These daily habits shifted my perspective. I realized there was always something to be grateful for, no matter what. I want you to take a moment each day and think about all the things you might be overlooking that you should be thankful for. In order to maintain a grateful mindset, I started doing things that kept me in that state. One technique was writing down what I was grateful for each day. Every night, I jotted down 3 new things I appreciated. Small things were as important as big ones. I also worked on changing how I talked to myself. When I noticed negative thoughts, I tried to replace them with positive ones. For instance, if I got stuck in traffic, I'd remind myself, "This gives me a chance to listen to my favorite podcast." I realized that gratitude and acceptance are connected. Accepting things doesn't mean giving up. It means appreciating things as they are, even if they're not perfect. This acceptance brings peace, because while we can't control everything, we can control our reactions. Make it a habit to be thankful every day. Appreciate every meal, every moment of rest, and every interaction that improves you. Remember, being thankful can change not only your life, but also those around you. Even small acts of gratitude create positive energy others can feel. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a powerful tool to improve your well-being and happiness. Marcus Aurelius, another wise Stoic, said, "The quality of our day is shaped by our gratitude." So, keep positive thoughts about thankfulness and watch your life transform. Trust me, it's worth it. 9. Turn your fears into power. Picture yourself positioned on the brink of a cliff. The drop makes you want to step back, but something inside urges you to jump instead. This is the moment when you must confront your fear. It's a pivotal point where your actions can change everything. I've faced similar moments, not on an actual cliff, but in situations where I needed to take a brave leap despite feeling scared. A wise Stoic, Epictetus, once said, "It is only when we face our fears that we discover the true reserves of strength that lie within us." This idea has been a guiding light for me. When fear loomed over me, I chose to face it and turn it into courage. Let me explain how. Reflect on how fear and chance for growth are linked. Every time I faced something frightening, I realized that my fear was an opportunity for growth. I remember the first time I had to speak in front of an audience. I was terrified of making mistakes and worried about others' opinions. But by confronting my fears, I not only managed to get through it, but also discovered a love for public speaking and a hidden talent for connecting with people. So, how can we face our fears with stoic bravery? Preparation and reflection are key. When fear arises, I pause to think about it. What could possibly go wrong? How likely is it that the worst outcome will actually happen? Often you'll realize that the things you fear are less likely and less severe than you imagine. Preparing for challenging situations, even the ones I fear the most, has empowered me to act despite my fear. Additionally, transforming fear into a motivating force is crucial. Rather than letting fear paralyze me, I use it as a push to move forward. This shift doesn't happen quickly or easily, but it's very rewarding. Imagine fear as energy stored in a tightly wound spring. When you release that energy, it gives you new strength to move ahead. Facing our fears is crucial if we want to reach our full potential. I wouldn't have learned new skills and gained strength if I hadn't been afraid of failing. Every fear you overcome brings you one step closer to your biggest goals. Just one courageous move right now could change your life entirely. Finally, let me share some inspiring stories of people who turned their fear into courage. Think of Anna Torres, a young woman who joined a cave rescue team even though she was afraid of being alone and in the dark. Her determination to conquer her fear not only saved lives during an important mission, but also made her fear a tale of bravery. Reflect on your own fears. Each one is an opportunity for you to grow in your personal and professional life. When you feel scared or uncertain, remember that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the act of overcoming it. Are you willing to take a big step toward transforming yourself? 10. Detachment is key. I've learned a valuable skill called detachment, which has brought me more peace and emotional freedom. Imagine yourself standing in a forest, watching the trees gently sway in the wind. You're not trying to control the wind or the rustling leaves. You're just observing. This is what detachment is about, observing without trying to change or hold on to anything. Many people think detachment means not caring or being indifferent, but it's really about freeing ourselves from the pressure of our expectations. Think about the times you felt stressed or anxious because things didn't go as planned. I've felt that way many times. We can choose to accept that, even when we try our best. We can't always control the outcome. Practicing detachment daily can become a freeing experience. For example, when I was trying to resolve a big issue in a relationship, I used to worry too much about how my words or actions would be perceived. I started to focus on being genuine and honest, rather than worrying about how others viewed me. This shift not only lowered my anxiety, but also improved my relationships in a more authentic manner. Stoic philosophy also emphasizes the importance of detachment. Stoics believe that peace comes from accepting what we can't change and focusing on our reactions and thoughts. Epictetus said, "We find peace when we stop trying to control what we can't." This mindset has brought me the calmness I need in both work and personal challenges. Now, let's get real. Imagine you're facing a tough situation, like a work. Ask yourself, what do I have control over in this situation? And then put your energy into that and let the rest go. It's not easy, but over time, it will reduce your stress. Start with small steps to practice detachment daily. Acceptance meditation is something I find helpful. Every morning, I close my eyes, take deep breaths, and accept my thoughts and feelings without judgment. This assists me in maintaining calmness throughout the day. Detachment doesn't mean being uninterested. It's about not letting things beyond our control disturb us. Ultimately, detachment helps us live fully and accept life with strength and grace. Marcus Aurelius said, "Control your reactions and you will find peace." Keep this in mind. Focus on thoughts that bring you peace and freedom, no matter what happens. 11. Finding joy in everyday moments. Imagine yourself walking down a crowded street amidst the hustle and bustle of daily life. Cars are honking, people are rushing to their destinations, and street vendors are calling out their wares. In such moments, it might seem hard to find peace or happiness. But what if I told you that joy can be found right here in the simplest parts of our daily lives? Let's explore how we can discover these moments of joy. First, think about what makes you smile or feel calm during a normal day. Maybe it's sipping your favorite coffee in the morning, hearing a good song on the radio, or getting a friendly smile from a stranger. These little things are precious. They might seem small, but they add up to make our lives happier. To find joy daily, start by noticing these tiny, happy moments. When you wake up each morning, try to think of one thing you're looking forward to that day. It could be anything. A tasty lunch, a chat with a friend, or just the quiet time before bed. As the Stoic philosophers teach us, happiness doesn't come from big achievements or expensive things. It comes from appreciating what we have right now. Seneca, a wise Stoic, said, "Real happiness lies in finding joy in the present moment, without worrying excessively about the future." So, let's try to live in the moment and not worry too much about tomorrow. Another way to find joy is by helping others. When you do something nice for someone, it doesn't just make them happy, it makes you feel good, too. Maybe you can help an elderly neighbor carry groceries, or just listen when a friend needs to talk. These acts of kindness bring warmth to our hearts and connect us more deeply with others. And when things get tough, remember that every challenge has a silver lining. Instead of getting upset when something doesn't go your way, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe a delayed train gives you a few extra minutes to enjoy reading your book. When you look for the positive side, you'll find that even difficult days have moments of joy. Lastly, take time to be with nature. Going for a short walk in the park or sitting under a tree can make you feel very calm. Nature reminds us of the beauty in the world and helps us slow down and breathe deeply. As you walk, notice the colors of the flowers, the shapes of the clouds, and the songs of the birds. These natural wonders are free and available to everyone, and they are a powerful source of joy. Remember, joy is not something far away or hard to find. It's all around us, in the everyday moments. By focusing on the present and appreciating the small things, we can fill our lives with happiness. Just like Marcus Aurelius said, "How happy your life is relies on the nature of your thoughts." So, think about joy, look for it, and you will find that it grows. Are you ready to start discovering the joy in everyday moments? Let's make today a beautiful day, filled with simple pleasures and smiles. Finding balance between desires and moderation. Throughout my life, I've often struggled with wanting things, but also knowing I shouldn't have them. As the writer of my own story, I want you to understand how balancing these desires can bring true and lasting happiness. Imagine standing before a buffet with endless choices, each dish representing a wish or goal. Initially, you might want to take everything, but I've learned that what we choose and how we handle it matters more than having a lot. We need to keep our goals realistic. It's not about getting rid of our desires, but managing them in a way that improves our lives without overwhelming us. One afternoon, while walking through the city, I was tempted by the latest technology in the store windows. My first impulse was to buy the latest gadget, but I paused and asked myself, do you really need this? Will it make your life better, or is it just a fleeting desire? That moment of reflection helped me control my urges and avoid unnecessary spending. Each time I practiced moderation, I felt free from the artificial needs I had created. Moderation, an important Stoic value, helps us avoid excess and builds our inner strength. Cicero said, "The poor person is not the one who has little but the one who wants more." By practicing self-control, we find peace and satisfaction. By managing our resources better, we also learn to appreciate each moment and be grateful for what we have instead of feeling sad about what we lack. I've found that the connection between moderation and Stoic self-control is clearer when things are tough and problems are piling up. Being moderate helps me remember that while I can't always control what happens, I can control how I respond. This inner strength helps us remain calm and steady even during the hardest times. Think about how moderation can improve our lives. Recall a time when you made a balanced choice and how it felt. You might have turned down a higher-paying job to spend more time with your family. Even though it was difficult, that choice probably brought you more peace and balance. When faced with many options, remember that moderation isn't just about limiting yourself. It's about choosing a deeper, more meaningful path. This timeless wisdom still holds true today, so I encourage you to embrace it and find the balance that can turn your life into a masterpiece. Have you ever considered how small habits can make a big impact on your life? There is great power in the simple things we do every day without much thought. Sometimes we feel very sad and overwhelmed, as if the world is on our shoulders, but it's crucial to remember that we're not alone in these moments. In this video, we have selected a series of inspiring and comforting lessons to guide you on your emotional path. These lessons can transform your life in just 1 week if you follow these important rules that I'll explain. These teachings are designed to calm your spirit and remind you that hard times don't last forever and that you have inner strength ready to be awakened. Whether you're dealing with a personal crisis, grieving, or just need some extra encouragement, these lessons offer support, motivation, and hope. 1. Live in the present. I have discovered that living in the present moment is essential for a richer and more meaningful life. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a lifestyle that changes how we experience each moment. Do you ever notice how often your mind is elsewhere, thinking about the past or worrying about the future instead of focusing on the present? Mindfulness has helped me navigate this journey. You might wonder what mindfulness means. It's the ability to fully engage in the present moment without judging or being distracted by thoughts from the past or future. The small moments in my everyday life that exemplify this include the aroma of morning coffee, the pitter-patter of rain on the roof, and the gentle touch of the sun on my skin. You cherish each moment as if it were unique, which it is. Accepting what I cannot change is one of the most important lessons I've learned. How much time and energy have I wasted feeling bad about things beyond my control? Now, I no longer resist the flow. I embrace it. Because I accept something does not mean I'm giving up. I'm letting go of my feelings and focusing on what I can change. Another key point is to focus on what I can control. How many times have you felt like you couldn't handle problems that seemed impossible to solve? When I realized that focusing on what I can control makes me feel strong and independent, I stopped feeling overwhelmed. I can control things like my actions, thoughts, and feelings. My energy is better spent on things I can manage instead of pointless worries. It's better used on actions that move me toward my goals. Think about how much time we spend worrying about the past or the future. I used to worry a lot about mistakes I made or what might happen tomorrow. Never let the future worry you. Do not face it with fear, but with hope and optimism, said Marcus Aurelius. This made me feel better. Now, I try not to think about what has happened or what will happen. Instead, I try to find peace in the present moment. When you allow yourself at peace with the present, it doesn't necessarily mean everything is always good and easy. Life has its ups and downs, but how we handle them is what matters. Living in the present moment has helped me find an inner strength that allows me to deal with problems calmly and clearly. Each day is a chance to learn, grow, and connect with the world around us. Let's practice mindfulness together. Accept what we can't change, focus on what we can control, and stop worrying about the past or the future. Let's find peace in the present moment. As Epictetus said, don't worry about what you can't control. Worry about what you can control and take action. 2. Embrace change. Life is always busy, and new things happen all the time. Sometimes these changes are like a gentle breeze, and other times they feel like a strong storm. I've learned that instead of fighting these changes, it's better to accept them and enjoy how everything around me changes. When I was younger, I held on tightly to things, people, and situations, but this only caused me frustration and sadness. So I decided to accept that everything changes, and holding on to things that are gone is exhausting and pointless. Being flexible and adjusting to new situations is very important. I remember a tough time at work when many people were losing their jobs. I chose to stay positive, learn new skills, and keep an open mind for new opportunities. This change eventually led to a promotion I never expected. It's important to understand that change can be good, even if it feels hard or scary at first. It can bring new opportunities to learn and grow. Another time, a relationship I valued ended. I felt lost for a while, but then I decided to focus on myself, rediscover things I loved, try new activities, and spend more time with my family and friends. Looking at it, what first seemed like a really sad event turned into a chance to rediscover myself and grow stronger emotionally. The key to this is having a flexible and strong mindset. Seneca, a wise philosopher, said, "Life is like a river. It always flows and changes its path. Our wisdom is in learning to swim through its rough waters with grace and bravery." This quote underscores the significance of welcoming change. Being open and flexible helps me stay calm and focused, knowing I can handle any challenge that comes my way. Welcoming change is crucial for getting through tough times. we can build a flexible and strong mindset that helps us thrive even in hard situations by accepting changes, adapting to them, and finding the positives. Take a deep breath, stay open to new possibilities, and remember that life is always moving, like a river that never stops flowing. 3. Being balanced. One of the hard things to figure out is if you are happy or sad, or if you have too much or too little. From a young age, I learned the importance of balance. I realized that avoiding extremes in my feelings and actions was important for my well-being. When I was younger, I tried to do everything perfectly without ever taking a break. This made me stressed and unhappy. As I grew up, I saw that this approach was not good for me. I decided to find a balance between doing too much and doing too little. I learned to set clear boundaries for myself and understood that it's okay to take breaks. For instance, at work, I made sure to take time each day to relax, whether it was taking a walk, meditating, or eating a good meal. Developing healthy habits became very important to me. Instead of falling into bad habits like drinking too much soda or not exercising, I chose to focus on my health. Incorporating regular exercise, consuming nutritious meals, and ensuring sufficient sleep became integral to my daily habits, resulting in increased energy and focus. Saying no became a way to control myself and increase my confidence. At first it was difficult, but I learned to understand my limits and focus my time and energy on what is really important. For me, this meant declining to going out with friends, not going to parties when I needed to relax, or not agreeing to more than I could handle. Finding contentment in simplicity became my motto. I've discovered that the simple things in life, having a meaningful discussion with a loved one, taking in the beauty of nature, or simply being in the moment, are what truly bring me happiness in a society where buying stuff and acquiring more of it is the norm. To quote the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, "True greatness lies in the moderation of our passions and desires." This balance helped me see things more clearly, freeing me from unrealistic goals and letting me live a more honest and happy life. 4. Live by virtues. To find happiness, live by virtues. Virtues leads you through life. I focus on 4 key virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These aren't just words, they guide my life. Wisdom helps me understand things better and learn from everything I do, read, and talk about. I think about my actions and try to grow, even if I don't understand everything in the world. Courage gives me the strength to face my fears and challenges. I know that falling is okay, because standing up again is what truly matters. If I avoided problems, I'd never grow stronger. Justice means treating everyone fairly. When someone is treated unfairly, it hurts everyone, so I can't ignore it. Letting unfairness happen would make me ashamed. Each time I make a decision, I practice temperance in every decision. It's what satisfies my passions and helps me control my wants. I am not overcome by impulsive desires. Rather, I am guided by the cool, collected voice of reason. What would I gain if I gave in to my feelings and lose being in charge of my actions? I consider the effects of every decision I make on my future. Thus, I consider my past actions and their results. I always try to do the right thing because I believe it to be the right thing to do, not because it's easy. I practice self-discipline because I know that the road to virtue is paved with obstacles that can only be overcome by discipline. This is how I aim for moral excellence. Real change starts with each of us. Seneca said, "Happiness comes from living by virtues." I try to live by these values in everything I do because that's what makes a person truly great. 5. Appreciate what you have. Every day can be really busy, and sometimes we focus too much on what we want or don't have. This makes us forget the good things we already have. But what if you took a moment to think about how important it is to appreciate what you have? Being thankful every day is like a hug for your soul. Do you ever notice the little things that make your life better? Every moment has something to be grateful for, like the sunrise or a friend's smile. Today, I paused in the park to breathe in the fresh morning air and look at the flowers. I felt very grateful for the beauty around me. To think abundantly, you first need to notice the good things in your life. Don't focus on what other people have that you might want. You have a home and food every day. These are gifts we often overlook. For example, when I got home today and enjoyed my dinner, I realized how lucky I am to have healthy food. By thinking about what you have instead of what you don't, you can change your life completely. Have you ever thought about how different your day would be if you focused on the good things instead of the bad? There are many things in your life to be thankful for, like your talents and the people you know. For instance, while I was working on a project today, I didn't complain about how hard it was. Instead, I thought about my strengths and the tools I had. The best way to be happy every day is to enjoy the little things. Have you ever thought about how different your life would be if you enjoyed the little things? It's easy to forget how much joy is in every moment, like the smell of breakfast or the sound of birds singing. For example, I took a break from reading today to enjoy the warm sun through the window. I was thankful for that moment of peace. You can change how you see the world by choosing to be grateful and happy. Think about what your life would be like if you focused on what you have instead of what you don't. All the good things in your life, like the love around you and the opportunities that come your way, make you feel happy. Now, at the end of the day today, for example, I thought about all the good things that happened and felt very grateful for my life. Happiness is not having what you want, but appreciating what you have, said Epictetus. You can choose how you see things at any time. Do you want to choose to be thankful for everything and see each moment as a gift? 6. Sit down and embrace what you feel. Imagine this. When you wake up in the morning, the sun shines through the window and touches your face. Do you smile and feel happy for a new day? Or do you start worrying about what you don't have instead of being grateful for what you do have? I used to be the second type. I was constantly looking ahead, setting goals, and neglecting to savor the present moment. But when I started being thankful every day, everything changed. Before I get out of bed in the morning, I close my eyes and think of 3 things I'm thankful for. It can be something simple, like the sound of rain on the roof, the smell of fresh coffee, or a hug from a friend or family member. At first, it was hard to find things to be grateful for, but over time, my mind learned to see the good in everything. It really works. Being grateful for the little things in my life that were good changed everything. I chose to appreciate what I already have instead of focusing on what I don't have. Therefore, it's not about fitting in, it's about feeling happy with what you have. You already have everything you need to be happy if you just think about what you have. One time, I was late for an important meeting because I got stuck in traffic. Instead of getting stressed out, I focused on what was around me. The sky was clear when I looked out the window. On the radio, I heard my favorite song, and the sun felt nice on my skin. That's when I realized it didn't matter if I was late, because I was already enjoying little happy moments. A leisurely walk in the park, a pleasant chat with a friend, and enjoying a hot cup of tea on a cold afternoon. All these simple pleasures carry weight. To live a full and happy life, you need to learn to enjoy the little things. Marcus Aurelius said, "The less you worry about tomorrow, the more time you will have to enjoy today. I challenge you to remember this every day. Every morning, take a moment to think about the good things in your life. Focus on what you have instead of what you don't have, and learn to enjoy the little things because they make life beautiful. 7. Overcome your fears. Challenge your fears and move past what holds you back. The first step to feeling free from worries is to know what scares you and keeps you from doing things. This is something I've learned from my own life. I clearly remember the day I realized that being scared of speaking in public was stopping me from doing well in my job. Every time I had to speak to a crowd, I felt as if I was weighed down by a heavy chain. However, I decided not to let this fear control me. It was tough to gather the bravery to keep going, but doing so helped me learn and grow. I began by talking to small groups, gradually speaking to larger ones as I got better. With each step, I grew more confident. Being brave means moving ahead, even when you're afraid. A big part of overcoming my fear was imagining myself succeeding instead of failing. I didn't worry about making mistakes. Instead, I pictured myself confident and doing well in front of everyone. I visualized the crowd clapping loudly and feeling happy that I shared a strong message. This way of thinking helped me focus all my effort on reaching my goals. Understanding that taking risks is part of growing up was key for me. I knew that trying new things could be scary, but it's how we learn and grow. Seneca once said, "The biggest thing we fear is fear itself." If you're brave enough to face what scares you, you'll discover how awesome you can be. Giving myself the gift of courage to face what scared me was the best thing I did. Every time I overcame a challenge, I felt braver and more capable. My fears didn't control me anymore. Instead, they pushed me toward my dreams. Now, I encourage you to meet your fears head-on with bravery. Find out what's stopping you, be brave enough to take action, imagine doing well, be okay with taking chances, and discover your strength as you overcome challenges. Remember, every fear you conquer brings you closer to true freedom and personal growth. 8. Reflect on yourself. Today's world moves so fast that we often forget to think about ourselves. What if you took a moment to check in with yourself and dive into the exciting process of self-reflection? Let me guide you on this path, where discovering more about yourself can truly change you. I make time each day to get lost in my own thoughts. When it's quiet, I spend time exploring my motivations and reactions. This helps me see what I'm good at and what I need to work on. I think about myself every day, and this practice has become an important ritual that helps me stay true to myself. When I think, talk, and act, I become more aware of their effects on me and others. How do my thoughts influence my feelings? How do my words touch others? Do my actions reflect my values and ambitions? These questions are part of learning more about myself and growing. Along this journey, I naturally make some mistakes. I never feel down about my mistakes. Instead, I view them as learning opportunities. Every slip-up has a lesson that helps me improve, make wiser choices, and understand myself and the world better. Setting clear aims is crucial for my self-improvement. Each aim I decide on shapes how I act and make choices. However, merely having aims isn't enough. I often need to assess how well I'm doing to ensure I'm moving in the right direction. How am I getting closer to achieving my goals? What changes do I need to make to keep going forward? Asking myself these questions helps me keep growing. It's really important to be truthful with myself about everything, even if it's tough sometimes. I know my weak spots and my strengths, and I value both. This honesty helps me accept myself fully and brings me peace. The wise man is the one who knows himself, said the philosopher Epictetus. Thinking about my actions and thoughts is like talking to a wise friend who helps me discover my true self and my path in life. 9. Be nice to yourself and everyone around you. Something very important I've learned is that it's really nice to be gentle and caring towards ourselves and others. This comes from a feeling of understanding and empathy, and it's part of how we treat each other every day. Being nice to people is like planting tiny seeds of goodness in our friendships. Once, a good friend was feeling really sad. I just listened to him, didn't judge, and supported him fully. I didn't tell him he was wrong or focus on any mistakes. Instead, I tried to feel what he was feeling and stayed by his side. This simple act of kindness made us closer and helped him feel cared for and accepted. But to truly understand others, we need to be okay with our own imperfections and errors. Everyone makes mistakes because that's part of being human. When we accept our own mistakes and forgive ourselves, we let go of anger and start to grow and change as people. I remember once at work, I made a big mistake. I didn't get mad at myself. Instead, I chose to forgive myself, learned from what happened, and moved on with greater determination. It becomes easier to forgive ourselves when we realize that everyone is just human. We all go through similar emotions, face the same kinds of issues, and tackle similar challenges. Knowing we share these experiences helps us show more empathy and kindness in our relationships. When we understand that everyone around us is dealing with their own issues, we can offer better support and understanding. Empathy and compassion involve more than caring for our loved ones. They also involve helping those in need, even strangers. One time, I saw a stranger looking really sad on the street. I felt I needed to stop and say something kind to help him. Even though we only talked briefly, I hoped it made him feel he wasn't alone in his struggles. Being kind to ourselves and others truly shows our humanity. Marcus Aurelius believed that not acting like our enemies is the best way to overcome them. By showing compassion, we not only forge stronger connections with others, but also become truer to our kind and understanding selves. So, let's show kindness to everyone and discover how it can transform our lives. 10. Search for your true calling. Imagine finding the greatest treasure of your life, your purpose. Let's start a journey to uncover more about yourself. We'll discuss your deepest values, passions, and skills to pave a path that's full of purpose and meaning. Have you ever pondered what's most important to you? These are your guiding principles for making decisions. It was like turning on a light in a pitch-black room when I discovered my values. Once, I had to decide between a secure path that would make me money but go against my morals, or a riskier path that aligned with my true beliefs. I chose the riskier path, and I've been happy about it ever since. Living in harmony with your values brings immense joy. Now, let's explore what you're passionate about. What really grabs your interest? What makes you feel super excited and full of energy? For me, I've always had a passion for writing. I've lost track of time reading and writing since my childhood days. Pursuing what I love helped me find my purpose. But it's not just about passion. You need unique skills too. Everyone has their own special talents that are waiting to shine. I found out that I'm good at connecting with people and helping them with their problems. This skill has shaped my purpose, allowing me to help others in meaningful ways. Setting goals that match what you really want to do is like drawing a map to reach your dreams. What do you dream of doing when you grow up? What things do you love so much that they make you excited? What talents or good traits do you have that could help you achieve your dreams? For me, writing down clear and detailed plans has made it easier to keep moving closer to what I want in life. Everything I do takes me a step closer to a life that feels special and meaningful. And speaking of meaning, have you found it in your friendships and at school or work? It's easy to get lost and forget what really matters, but if you can find meaning in the people you meet and the things you do, every day becomes an opportunity to learn and shine. I'll never forget the day I got a job that made sure I had enough money and let me help make the world a better place. Feeling happy and fulfilled made every day feel valuable. The secret to a joyful and rich life is to live each day with a clear purpose and direction. It's important to reach your goals, but it's also important to enjoy the journey and find joy along the way. Cicero once said, "The purpose of life is a life of purpose." Discovering your purpose is a wonderful adventure in learning more about who you are. Think about what matters to you. Discover what you love. Use what you're good at. Set clear goals. Find meaning in your actions and live each day with intention and purpose. You have the ability to imbue your life with significance and direction. Now that we've talked about how important it is to know your values, passions, and skills, it's time to think about how all these fit together to create your unique path. Think of it like putting together pieces of a puzzle. Each piece is different, but when they come together, they form a beautiful picture. That picture is your life. First, look at how your values and what you love to do can help others. Maybe you really care about being kind, and you love drawing. You could use your art to make cheerful cards for people who are lonely. Or, if you value honesty and enjoy writing stories, you might write books that teach kids about telling the truth. When you combine what you care about with what you can do well, you create something very special that can make a difference in the world. Next, let's think about setting goals that feel right for you. Imagine your dream is to be a teacher because you love helping others learn. What steps do you need to take to get there? Maybe you need to study hard in school, learn about how to be a good teacher, and practice teaching with your friends or family. Writing these steps down can help you see the path clearly and keep you focused on moving forward. Remember, it's okay if your path changes as you grow. Sometimes what we care about or enjoy doing can change, and that's perfectly normal. It's like when you outgrow a pair of shoes and need a new pair that fits better. Always be open to discovering new things about yourself and the world around you. Now, finding joy in the journey is also very important. Every day might not be perfect, but there are always little moments to cherish. Maybe it's the smile from a friend, a sunny day, or a job well done on a difficult task at school or work. These moments add brightness to our days and help us see the good, even when things are tough. It's also essential to build strong relationships with people who support and care about you. Friends, family, teachers, and others can offer encouragement, share their own experiences, and help you when you're feeling down. These relationships make our lives richer and our journeys smoother. Lastly, never forget to give yourself credit for all your hard work and the good choices you make each day. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small they might seem. Did you help a friend? Finish a tough homework assignment? These victories are steps towards your bigger goals, and they deserve to be celebrated. Living with purpose isn't just about reaching one big goal. It's about making choices every day that bring you joy and help you grow. It's about living in a way that feels right to you and contributes to the world. Therefore, continue to explore, continue to learn, and continue to progress. You have so much to offer, and your journey is just beginning. Fill each day with actions that reflect who you are and what you believe in, and watch as your life unfolds into a story that is uniquely yours, full of purpose and happiness. 11. Don't let others' thoughts bother you. Think of a place where everyone's opinions echo like bells. Knowing how to ignore these sounds is key to keeping your heart light. I've realized the best thing is to keep these opinions from changing how I see my own value. I am valuable, no matter if others like me or not, like a precious gem that always glows. I really believe in my own choices. They guide me through life like a beacon in a storm, helping me steer clear of confusion from what others think. I feel more secure and certain when I listen to myself. Sure, positive criticism can be useful, like a polish that makes things brighter, but I don't let hurtful words touch me. Why should I let harsh words disturb my peace? I accept criticism that helps me grow, but I ignore hurtful jabs. My view on needing others' approval is very calm. I don't search for it desperately like someone very thirsty in search of water. Rather, I find my peace in loving and accepting myself endlessly. Why wait for others to praise me when I can be proud of myself? I'm special not because of what others say about me, whether they like me or not. I'm valuable because of all the cool and different things that make me, like a bunch of stars shining bright inside. Aristotle once said, "How happy you are depends on what you think." I don't worry about what others think of me. I trust what I feel is right, take good advice happily, and don't let mean words bother me. I try to stay true to myself, not just follow the crowd, and find my own happiness in a noisy world. In this journey to know myself better, I'm leading my own way and focused on staying true to myself and feeling joyful inside. In the journey of understanding myself better and finding inner peace, I've learned to focus on what truly matters. It's like keeping my eyes on the bright stars on a clear night, instead of getting lost in the clouds that sometimes drift by. Every day, I make choices that reflect who I am, rather than what others might want me to be. It's like choosing the path in a forest that feels right under my feet, knowing it leads me to my own special place. Along the way, I've come to realize that my happiness is like a treasure chest that I fill myself. It's not about collecting shiny things that others have thrown away, but about finding pieces that shine brightly for me. These treasures might be simple moments of joy, like a laugh shared with a friend, or a quiet morning with a good book. These experiences are my true gems, not the fleeting words of praise or criticism from others. As I continue this path, I sometimes meet people who try to pour their doubts and negativity into my day. They are like clouds trying to cover my sun. But I've learned to be like the wind, blowing those clouds away because I know the sun is always there, bright and warm. I don't hold on to these moments of darkness. Instead, I let them go, like leaves floating down a river, and keep my heart light. I also cherish the support and love of those who truly care about me. They are like the roots of a big, sturdy tree, helping me stand tall even in the stormiest weather. Their genuine care and encouragement are like water and sunlight, helping me grow stronger and reach higher. I treasure these relationships deeply. They teach me that while it's important to listen to myself, sharing my journey with others can make it even more beautiful. In all of this, I keep learning more about myself. Each day is a new page in my book of life, and I am the author. I try to write stories of courage, of learning, and of love. Sometimes the pages might have smudges, moments of doubt or mistakes, but I've learned that these are not flaws. They are part of a beautiful, messy process of growing. They make my story real and relatable. As I walk forward, my steps are guided by the compass of my own values and dreams. I do not wander aimlessly, nor do I let the maps drawn by others lead me astray. I trust the direction in which my heart points me. With each step, I feel more confident, more me. I am discovering that the greatest peace comes not from being admired or approved by others, but from being true to myself. In this truth, there is freedom, freedom to choose, to love, and to be. Thus, my advice to anyone on this journey is simple. Be kind to yourself, embrace your journey with courage, and keep filling your treasure chest with what truly matters. Let your inner light guide you through the noise of the world. Remember, you are the captain of your ship, and it's your light that will lead you to your own special harbor. 12. Cherish the silence. In our loud, busy days, discovering moments of silence is a rare treasure that many overlook. How do we begin to enjoy silence? By taking the time to be still and reflect. One day, I decided to get away from the city's clamor. I strolled into a nearby woods, where the only sounds were birds chirping and leaves fluttering. At first, my mind didn't want to quiet down because it was so used to noise. But as I ignored the distractions and opened myself to the silence, I could hear my deeper thoughts more clearly. Practicing meditation helps us connect deeply with ourselves and grow. By concentrating on breathing and letting our thoughts pass freely, being quiet teaches us to be present without needing anything from outside. When we are quiet, our minds get clearer, and we often find the answers we're looking for by themselves. Wise teachers say that quiet is a loyal friend. In quiet, we can leave the noisy world behind and find peace inside ourselves. But it's not just about shutting off our phones or finding a quiet place. It's about learning to be peaceful even when everything around us is not. I recall a time when I decided to stay in a loud place instead of leaving. Sitting by myself with a cup of coffee in a lively coffee shop, I chose not to let the surrounding chatter affect me. Instead, I just listened, not judging or participating. That's when I realized that being quiet isn't about avoiding noise, but about finding peace within it. Learning to ignore the noise and distractions around you and inside you is important. Often, the most bothersome noise is the endless stream of thoughts in our own minds. We can find a calm place that's always there, even when everything else is hectic, if we learn to simply observe our thoughts without engaging with them. Allow yourself some time to think, to hear your own inner voice, and to feel connected with yourself in quietness. You can learn to be present in the moment without any external assistance. Whether you're enjoying nature, meditating, or just going through your daily routine, you can achieve tranquility and clarity in silence and deeply connect with yourself and the world. As I continued my journey of embracing silence, I found it increasingly enriching. Silence, I realized, is not merely the absence of noise, but a vast space of potential. It holds the power to transform us, to bring us closer to our true selves, and to teach us about the essence of peace. In silence, I learned to appreciate the subtle joys that are often masked by the bustle of everyday life. One sunny afternoon I walked through a quiet park. The sun filtered through the leaves, casting playful shadows on the path. In this peaceful setting, I noticed things I usually overlooked: the way the light danced on the grass, the gentle rustle of the trees, and the distant sound of a bird singing its heart out. It was as if the world was showing me its secrets, ones that are only visible when you truly listen. This quiet listening became a habit. At home, I started to find moments of silence amid my daily tasks. While washing dishes or folding laundry, I focused on the task at hand, letting my thoughts drift away like clouds on a windy day. This simple act of mindfulness brought a sense of calm to what were once mundane chores. Each silent moment felt like a pause button in life's fast-forward routine, providing a chance to catch my breath and just be. But the real challenge was bringing silence into my relationships. During conversations, I made a conscious effort to listen more and speak less. By doing so, I discovered that listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about feeling the emotions behind them. When friends shared their troubles, instead of rushing to offer advice, I stayed quiet. This space allowed them to reflect deeply, often helping them find their own solutions. It was empowering for them and enlightening for me. Practicing silence has also taught me the value of solitude. In a world that celebrates constant connection, choosing solitude can seem strange. But solitude is where I found strength. It gave me the freedom to explore my thoughts and desires without distraction. In these quiet moments alone, I planned new dreams and revisited old ones, aligning them more closely with my heart's true aspirations. The lessons of silence are profound. It teaches us patience as we wait for the right words to come. It teaches us humility as we realize how much there is to hear when we stop talking. And it teaches us gratitude as we learn to appreciate the many layers of quiet that fill our lives with depth and meaning. I began to see its presence everywhere, even in the busiest places. The quiet smile of a stranger, the hushed reverence of people gazing at art in a museum, or the silent nods of agreement in a meeting. These were all forms of communication that spoke louder than words. In embracing silence, I found a deeper connection with the world around me and a clearer understanding of myself. Silence had become not just a practice, but a cherished companion on my journey through life. It is in these quiet moments that we meet ourselves, stripped of pretense and distraction, and discover the peace that lies within, waiting to be felt and acknowledged. 13. Stick to your goals. Having self-discipline is like a secret tool that helps you achieve big things. I know this because I've experienced it myself. Want to meet your goals? Start by creating small daily habits that push you bit by bit towards your goals. It might feel tough at the beginning, but think of it as building a ladder to your dreams, where every rung takes you higher. I remember when I decided to pick up a new language. I dedicated time each morning to practice, even if it was just an hour. At first, it didn't feel like I was making any progress, but I didn't quit. I knew that every bit of practice would help me get closer to my goal, and it really did. After some time, I could understand and speak the language better. The success I found later was way better than any difficulties I faced early on. Sometimes it feels easier to put things off or to be lazy, but being disciplined means confronting these urges with attention and resolve. Once, while I was working on a big school project, I started thinking I could just do it the next day. But I remembered that I had promised myself to work hard and achieve my goals, so I kept going without getting distracted. Being strong in your mind is like building up your muscles. The more you use it, the stronger you get. Remember when you decided to eat healthier? At the start, it might have been tough not to eat candy or junk food, but the more you resisted, the easier it became to keep resisting. That's why building up willpower is so important for being disciplined in everything we do. Mastering yourself brings the best joy at the end. Being in charge of yourself makes you feel the happiest. You end up feeling accomplished when you can resist doing the wrong things and stick to your regular tasks, even if you're tempted. Epictetus said, "Nobody is truly free unless they can control themselves." This means when you're in control of what you do, you're really in control of your life. So don't overlook how strong self-discipline can be. Make a schedule, do things without delay, work on being stronger against temptations, and enjoy mastering yourself. There are actions you can take to improve your control. Each action helps you become the person you want to be. 14. Uphold honesty. Always. As I travel through life, I envision a guiding lighthouse that keeps me on the right path. Integrity is not just a lovely word I use lightly. It's a deep-seated belief that directs all my actions. How can one stay on course without such guidance? I have always strived to lead a life grounded in moral principles. This goes beyond merely adhering to societal rules. It's a personal commitment to my core values. How else could I navigate through tough times without my inner moral compass pointing towards truth and justice? Sticking to my morals is like dropping a strong anchor into the ground, keeping me steady even when life tries to push me off course. I remember once at work, I was faced with a choice. A co-worker offered a quick but wrong solution. I remembered how important it is to be honest, so I chose the right but harder path. It was tough, but I felt proud because I didn't compromise my principles for a quick win. Truthfulness and sincerity are the foundations of my relationships. I always speak from the heart with everyone, which builds genuine connections and earns me respect and trust. Handling the repercussions of my choices can be tough, but staying truthful has always kept my moral character intact. There was a time I made a workplace mistake. Rather than concealing it, I owned up to it and corrected it. Refusing to compromise for comfort or personal gain protects something invaluable in a world rife with dishonesty. Despite the challenges, I am encouraged by Epictetus's words. Integrity is the first of a wise man. This inspires me to resist temptations and act rightly. My protection lies in ensuring my actions always match my words. Openly sharing my life is like documenting my story, where every deed contributes to the narrative of who I am. Once I vowed to assist a buddy with a significant task, but kept delaying it. Soon, I recognized that my actions were not reflecting my words, so I quickly adjusted my behavior to maintain my integrity and consistency. Being honest is more than a mere choice. It's a commitment we uphold to ourselves and others every single day. By adhering to my moral values and being genuinely honest in my interactions, I earn the trust and admiration of those around me, never compromising my integrity for convenience or personal advantage. At the end of each day, looking in the mirror, I stand tall with pride, knowing my actions have positively impacted the world. I often think about the impact these virtues have on others around me. Living honestly isn't just a path I follow alone. It's like a light that shines, guiding others too. Imagine walking down a dark path with a lantern in your hand. Just as the light from the lantern makes the path clearer for you, it also makes it easier for others walking beside you or behind you. This is how I see my commitment to honesty. It lights the way for myself and others. Just as seeds grow into beautiful flowers or strong trees because they are nurtured with good soil, sunlight and water, honesty nurtures relationships and communities. It's like planting seeds of trust every day. Each act of sincerity, each moment of telling the truth, plants a new seed. Over time, these seeds grow into strong bonds of trust and respect. It feels wonderful to be part of a community where everyone feels safe and valued, where people know they can rely on each other. But of course, being honest isn't always easy. There are days when the truth seems too hard to tell, when it feels easier to just say what others want to hear. On such days, I remind myself why I chose this path. I think of all the times when someone's honesty made a difference in my life, how it guided me, helped me make the right choices, and showed me that I was not alone. Remembering this, I find the courage to be honest, even when it's hard. Honesty is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every time I choose truth over lies, even in small things, I strengthen my ability to be honest. And as this muscle grows stronger, I find it influences not just big decisions, but also the little everyday choices I make. It helps me live a life that's true to who I am. Sometimes I think about the stories we hear as children, the tales of heroes who triumph by staying true to their values. As an adult, I realize that these stories were teaching us about more than just the adventures of heroes. They were teaching us about life. In every story, it was honesty and bravery that led to happy endings. These tales are not just for children. They are reminders for all of us that integrity is a timeless virtue. Living honestly also means being honest with oneself, which is perhaps the hardest part. It requires looking closely at our own actions and motives, and sometimes admitting our mistakes and flaws. But there is great power in this self-honesty. It fosters a deeper self-awareness, personal development, and ultimately, an authentic existence. As I continue on this journey, I carry with me the understanding that my actions and choices shape the person I am becoming. Every night, when I reflect on the day's events, I ask myself if I have lived true to my values, and every morning I renew my commitment to live with honesty and integrity, knowing that this commitment shapes not just my life, but also the world around me. In the end, the path of honesty is one of peace and satisfaction, knowing that I have lived another day true to myself and to others fills me with a profound sense of fulfillment. And so, as I carry on with life's journey, guided by the shining lighthouse of integrity, I am ever grateful for the clarity and purpose it brings to my life. This commitment to honesty is not just about following rules. It's about living a life that is richly woven with truth and respect. It's a journey that I cherish deeply each and every day. 15. Accepting what comes your way. Think of life as a wild ride, like a river rushing everything along. One important lesson from all this wildness is knowing how to accept things as they come, especially those we can't change. There was a time in my life when I was finishing a project I was really proud of, but suddenly things I couldn't control went wrong and it all fell apart. I decided to accept these events instead of letting sadness pull me down. Initially, I was really frustrated and upset, but eventually I found peace in understanding that some things are meant to change. I chose to embrace these changes instead of resisting them. A special saying that helped me was, "Truth lies in acceptance of fate," and it really freed me. Accepting fate doesn't mean just letting things happen to you. It means adjusting gracefully and finding the strength inside to handle tough situations calmly and with determination. Once, when I had my project fail, but instead of getting sad, I decided it was a good chance to learn and get better. I took time to feel okay with what was happening and started looking for new chances that came from this change. This openness to change led me to exciting places I hadn't imagined before. We can find inner peace amid confusion, learn to adapt to new things, and tackle problems calmly and strongly if we accept things as they come. Like Seneca said, we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. If you accept what life gives you, change with it, and go with the flow, you will discover new strength to overcome tough times. After realizing that accepting change is a part of life, I began to see challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to grow. Each obstacle became a stepping stone, leading me to better understand myself and the world around me. This new perspective didn't come overnight. It took time and patience to develop. In my journey of acceptance, I also learned the importance of letting go. Holding on to past disappointments or worries about the future only weighed me down. It was like carrying a heavy backpack on a long hike, unnecessary and exhausting. By choosing to let go, I felt lighter and more free to experience the present moment. One day, while walking in the park, I watched the leaves falling from the trees. They didn't resist the wind. They simply let go and gracefully drifted to the ground. This simple act of nature reminded me of the beauty in letting things happen naturally. I thought to myself, if the leaves can embrace change without fear, why can't I? From that day on, I made a conscious effort to be like the leaves, flowing with life's breezes without resistance. Embracing change also opened my heart to gratitude. Even in tough times, I found something to be thankful for, be it a lesson learned, a friend's support, or simply the chance to try again. Gratitude turned what could have been negative experiences into sources of joy and strength. Another lesson I learned was the power of resilience. Each time I accepted a change or challenge, I became stronger. I realized that my capacity to adapt and overcome was greater than I had ever imagined. This resilience didn't mean I was never sad or disappointed, but rather that I knew these feelings were temporary and that I could move through them. Moreover, accepting life as it comes taught me to be compassionate towards others. Knowing how it feels to face unexpected challenges made me more empathetic and understanding of other people's struggles. I learned to offer my support and kindness, remembering how much it meant to me when others did the same. Life, like the river, keeps flowing. It doesn't stop for anyone or anything. Sometimes it takes us through peaceful streams, and other times it rushes us over rough rapids. Learning to navigate these waters, accepting the calm and the storm alike, has brought me a profound sense of peace. So, if you find yourself facing a change or challenge, remember, it's not just about getting through it, but growing through it. Embrace the journey with an open heart and mind. Adapt, learn, and be grateful. Like a river, let life's experiences shape you, smooth your edges, and lead you to places you never expected. In doing so, you will not only find peace, you will also discover the boundless strength and resilience that lie within you. Thanks for being with me on this journey till the end. I hope you find peace and work towards a better future. Thank you, and as always, until next time.